What comes to your mind first when you hear the word Christmas? Gifts? Christmas tree? Snow? Lights? The fact that the whole family is together? These are all great thoughts and really represent what Christmas is about nowadays. However, I hope there are some people whose first thought isn't these things, but rather the birth of Jesus Christ, because that is what Christmas is truly about. But it wasn't always like this. As long ago, Christmas wasn't about the birth of baby Jesus at all. Instead, people celebrated other things at this time, with somewhat different traditions that only later transformed into the form we know today. Greetings to all viewers, this is Gem Bible, and in today's video, I will introduce the history and origins of Christmas. Enjoy watching. Going back to the time of Christ's birth, we can see that in the following few hundred years, this significant event wasn't considered a holiday at all. For example, in early Christianity, the most important celebration was Epiphany, which marked the arrival of the Magi to Jesus. However, this was not specifically Christmas as we know it, which other peoples celebrated differently. In Scandinavia, for instance, they celebrated Yule, starting every year on December 21st during the winter solstice. During this time, men gathered as much wood as possible, which they would pile up and set on fire. The purpose was to help the sun during the longest nights of the year. The celebrations continued until the fire burned out. It was believed that the number of sparks flying out of the fire symbolized the number of animals to be born in the coming year. To enhance the brightness, candles were placed on surrounding trees. According to researchers, these might have been the earliest versions of Christmas trees. In the Roman Empire, people celebrated Saturnalia at this time, honoring Saturn, the goddess of agriculture. Additionally, December 25th was dedicated to the birth of Mithra, the infant god. These celebrations were immensely popular, to the extent that even Christian people began participating in pagan festivities. In response to this, historians believe that Pope Julius I designated December 25th as the celebration of Christ's birth in 336 AD, ensuring that Christians would observe their own holiday instead of pagan ones. This decision turned out to be a huge success, as just 2 centuries later, Christmas had become the most popular holiday of the season. However, in modern times, there is significant debate among researchers, especially regarding the actual date of Jesus' birth. The Bible does not explicitly state when Jesus was born, leaving only theories and research based on various analyses. These include examining when censuses were held, when shepherds took their flocks to graze, and the movements of planets and comets to identify the star that was observed at that time. Based on these analyses, the most likely time for Jesus' birth is estimated to be between March and February, with the least likely period being between January and December. Nonetheless, this does not diminish the value of Christmas, as the birth of Christ is one of the most significant events in human history, something we can celebrate with full hearts. Christmas also comes with many traditions, which we'll briefly explore next. Gift giving. Gift giving is another key part of Christmas, as people give and receive gifts with great enthusiasm. According to 2023 data, the average American family spends about $1,000 on Christmas, with approximately 65% of that going toward gifts, quite a significant amount. Who delivers the presents varies across cultures, yet gift giving can have both Christian and pagan origins. Christian origins. The tradition traces back to Epiphany, when the Magi visited the newborn Jesus and brought him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These were highly valuable items, symbolizing the importance and grandeur of giving. Pagan origins. On the other hand, gift-giving predates Christ's birth in pagan traditions. For instance, during Saturnalia, celebrated in the Roman Empire before Christianity, people exchanged small handmade figurines, fruits, and seeds. Christmas tree decoration. Another indispensable tradition of Christmas is decorating the Christmas tree. The earliest practices, however, didn't involve a tree at all, but rather the use of evergreen plants. Pagan roots. People would place evergreen branches on doors and windows, as evergreens symbolized eternity, fertility, and everlasting life. This was particularly significant during the winter solstice, when daylight was shortest and night the longest. It was believed that these plants could ward off evil spirits and honor the sun god, ensuring a fruitful harvest in the coming year. Christian roots. The modern Christmas tree is thought to have Christian origins. In 16th century Germany, devout Christians constructed wooden pyramids and adorned them with evergreen branches and candles. Over time, for simplicity, they began bringing whole trees indoors, decorating them in honor of Jesus Christ's birth. Some believe the origin of the Christmas tree is linked to Martin Luther, who we discussed in a previous video. One Christmas night, while walking home, Luther looked up at the sky through the pine trees and was so moved by the sight that he wanted to recreate it for his family. He brought a pine tree into the house and decorated it with candles to represent the stars he had seen. Regardless of its origin, decorating Christmas trees wasn't a widely popular tradition until the 19th century. It wasn't until 1848, when an illustration of the British royal family decorating a Christmas tree was published, that the tradition truly gained traction. Middle-class families wanting to emulate the nobility began decorating trees en masse, and the practice became widespread. From all this, we can see that most modern Christmas traditions and even Christmas itself have pagan origins. However, this shouldn't stop anyone from celebrating Christmas. Why not? Because the most important thing isn't the origin of the traditions we follow or the holidays we celebrate, but who we are celebrating them for. As long as Christmas primarily reminds you of the birth of our Savior, it's perfectly fine to incorporate other traditions like family gatherings, tree decorating, and gift-giving. And that's all for today's video. Feel free to share in the comments what other traditions you have for Christmas, how much you enjoy this holiday, and so on. Have a wonderful Christmas and see you in the next video. Goodbye!